for a specific group of merchants or families. Because of course the diffusion of industrial goods, of industrial wares, does make necessary, reduces the need, of having storages, next to the shop. But another type of transformation was linked to the increase of income and to the opening of the economy to the external world. As a consequence, a lot of attempt of improving, the living conditions have been undertaken, and in this framework, there are a lot of interventions which are totally out of scale, even in a fabric of tower houses like Sana'a. This is a tower of almost 20 stories without lift that has been built on a measurement. And there are many like this, 12, 13, 14. Yemeni, they are not afraid to climb stairs, but 20 stories is very much without lift. And it's a totally illegal building built on an empty land. But what is happening more frequently is the addition of 2 or even 3 stories, 2 buildings of 1 or 2 stories or 3 stories. And also, it has to be emphasized the fact that, in spite of the fact that they want to respect the law that says that it is mandatory that new buildings and new construction should reflect the typical Yemeni style, they intend the typical Yemeni style, this style, which is totally new, brand new, which imitates a little bit, the opening of the mafraj. The mafraj is a very special room at the upper floor of the traditional buildings, where the men sit to chew the cud and to see the landscape. So they have a large windows which are different from the rest of the building and larger. And so in the new buildings or in the new vertical addition of the building, they do this mafraj type of window, which are evidently fake, completely fake, and which begin to really to uniform the facades and to destroy the typical could I say, architecture of the city, which, as I showed you before, is made of standardized elements, which are composed in a very free and different way, creating a very rich facade. Then, the use of new and inconsistent materials is widespread. For instance, the shop windows tend to be made of aluminium. New bricks are used, which are industrially made and which conflicts very much with the traditional bricks which are cooked, how do you say, I don't know the English word, burned, yes, burned, yeah, exactly. Sometimes you may find also these bricks, for instance, are clearly just for cladding, because the structure behind it is a concrete, and they have the basis of the pilaster is on a brick wall, and so on. You have this kind of so the awareness of the government was, the awareness of this widespread deterioration of the urban fabric was also present in the government, that decided to do a sort of inventory of the so-called violations. These are the maps of the inventory of the violations made by the government, which was unusable, by the way, because the definition of violation was not clear. For instance, they took the law as a reference. The law says that all the buildings in concrete are forbidden. The law was issued in 95, but there were buildings built in concrete in the 60s, immediately after the independence. Well, this cannot be considered violation for the simple reason that when